This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The former CID chief, a prominent attorney, and a police sergeant charged following that CID probe. The IDB says a lack of skilled labor. And the U.S. Surgeon General's warning about the dangers of alcohol. We are talking about it. What's truth? What's fiction? What's exaggeration? We'll get into it. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strawn. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning in business, we've been teasing it for a bit, but we're going to get to it today. Tensions rising over a planned concert with a controversial foreign artist. Lots of issues here. We're going to get into that this morning. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning.
Wake up, it's a new day.
In the overnight, former Criminal Investigations Department Chief Michael Johnson charged along with attorney Bjorn Ferguson and Police Sergeant D'Angelo Roll following a months-long investigation. The charges stem from a series of leaked recordings of conversations allegedly between Johnson and wanted theft suspect Michael Fox Jr. Johnson faces charges of conspiracy to commit bribery, stealing, receiving, and accessory after the fact. Prosecutors allege that Johnson conspired with Ferguson and Fox to solicit an advantage from Fox between November 6th and November 15th, 2023. The former chief superintendent of police is also accused of stealing $90,000 from Akil Holmes on November 3rd. The money is alleged to be part of the proceeds of the theft of over $1.4 million from a car at Odyssey Airport in New Providence. Holmes, a former employee of ICS Security Company, was last year stealing the money on November 3rd. Johnson is also accused of receiving the $90,000 from Roll, who's an officer in CID. He's further accused of serving as an accessory after the fact to Fox by enabling him to avoid due process of the law. Ferguson is also accused of helping Fox avoid due process. Roll is accused of abetting his superior officer in committing the offense of stealing. The men were not required to enter pleas to the charges when they appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. Attorneys Muriel Ducille Casey and Ian Cargill complained that the particulars of the charges were defective, as Johnson is accused of conspiring with himself. Ducille also noted that Holmes was not listed as a witness on the court docket, Reckley making note of their observations and adjourned the matter to January 30th for the federal indictment. Bail was set at $25,000 for Johnson and $7,500 each for Ferguson and Roll. Roll's on bail for manslaughter concerning the police-involved shooting of Azario Major on December 26th, 2021. Johnson is represented by Ducille along with Brian Bastian. Damien Gomez, KC, and C.G. Smith represent Ferguson. However, Gomez was not present, so Cargill appeared instead. Kevon Maynard representing Roll, who's been interdicted from duty. After the Consultant Physician Staff Association threatened industrial action over a lack of progress in negotiating a new industrial agreement, the Public Hospital Authority maintaining that it has been proactive in the effort to come to an agreement and noting that the financial components are still under review by Financial Secretary Simon Wilson. The PHA said it's committed to transparent negotiations and improving conditions within the public healthcare system. The Inter-American Development Bank, in its just released and latest Caribbean Quarterly Bulletin, said a lack of skilled labor could be hindering economic growth in the Bahamas. The bank noting that although migration flows are positive, the lack of skilled labor could be hindering growth. Saying, quote, even though firms consider the qualification of employees pervasive constraint, Bahamian workers are on par with the regional average for skilled workers as a proportion of the total workforce, with around a half of workers of all types of innovative firms being considered skills. The Ministry of Health and Wellness saying that there's been no reported or confirmed cases of HMPV in the Bahamas amid concerns of an outbreak in China. In recent weeks, several countries in the Eastern Hemisphere have reported an increase in the virus. It was discovered in 2001, and the symptoms present like the flu with mild upper respiratory tract infections. Symptoms tend to increase during the winter and spring as the virus thrives better in the cold. Reports of an increase in HMPV cases in China have raised alarm for many, given that the COVID pandemic started in China, or was first recognized in China, before quickly spreading across the globe. However, health officials have maintained that HMPV does not pose the same risk, with the World Health Organization noting that the current outbreak is not extraordinary. The U.S. Coast Guard capturing 34 migrants in 3 separate smuggling operations that happened last Friday. The Department of Immigration confirming yesterday that 2 of the interceptions happened in waters off the coast of Florida, and the last happened at Key Sal. Coast Guard transferred the migrants to the immigration officers, but 3 Bahamian smugglers remain detained in the U.S. And when he speaks to the nation tonight, Prime Minister Philip Davis will apparently address the issues of crime and the high cost of living, among other big issues. This will mark the Prime Minister's first national address since the start of the year. The NASA Guardian understands that Prime Minister Davis will speak on his plans for 2025 and reflect on his administration's key goals. He's also expected to speak on fulfilling key objectives, including lowering the cost of living. Overseas, California firefighters battling wind-whipped wildfires that tore across the Los Angeles areas, destroying homes, clogging roadways as tens of thousands had to flee, straining resources as the fires burned uncontained early today. The flames from a fire that broke out Tuesday evening near a nature preserve in the inland foothills northeast of L.A. spread so rapidly that staff at a senior living center had to push dozens of residents in wheelchairs and hospital beds down the street into a parking lot. Waited there in their bedclothes as the night sky glowed red from flames and embers fell all around them until ambulances, buses, and even construction vans arrived to take them to safety. Another blaze that started hours earlier ripped through the city's Pacific Palisades neighborhood, a hillside area along the coast, dotted with celebrity residences. In the frantic haste to get to safety, roadways became impassable and scores of people abandoned their vehicles and fled on foot. The traffic jam on Palisades Drive prevented emergency vehicles from getting through, and a bulldozer was brought in to push the abandoned cars to the side and create a path. A third wildfire started around 10:30 p.m. and quickly prompted in a San Fernando Valley community that is the northernmost neighborhood in Los Angeles. The causes of all 3 fires still under investigation. Flames are being pushed by Santa Ana winds, topping 60 miles per hour in some places, increasing to 70 miles per hour by early this morning, according to reports from the National Weather Service in Los Angeles. They could top 100 miles per hour in mountains and foothills, including in areas that haven't seen substantial rain in months. Also from the U.S., President-elect Donald Trump says that he would not rule out the use of military force to seize control of the Panama Canal and Greenland, as he declared U.S. control of both to be vital to American national security. Speaking to reporters less than 2 weeks before he takes office on January 20th, and as a delegation of aides and advisors that includes Donald Trump Jr. is in Greenland, Trump left open the use of the American military to secure both territories. Trump's intention marks a rejection of decades of U.S. policy that has prioritized self-determination over territorial expansion. Trump, when asked if he would rule out the use of the military, saying, quote, "I'm not going to commit to that. It might be something. The Panama Canal is vital to our country. We need Greenland for national security purposes." Greenland is home to a large U.S. military base, but is an autonomous territory of Denmark, a longtime U.S. ally, and a founding member of NATO. Trump cast doubts on the legitimacy of Denmark's claim to Greenland. The Panama Canal has been solely controlled by Panama for more than 25 years. The U.S. returned the Panama Canal zone to the country in 1979 and ended its joint partnership in controlling the strategic waterway in 1999. In a statement, Greenland's government said Donald Trump Jr.'s visit was taking place as a private individual and not an official visit. And the Panamanian foreign minister said that his government hasn't had formal contact with Trump or representatives of the incoming administration, but reiterated previous comments from the country's president, who last month said the canal will remain in Panamanian hands. Trump also floated having Canada join the United States as the 51st state. He said Tuesday that he would not use military force to invade the country, which is home to more than 40 million people and is a founding NATO partner. Instead, he said he would rely on, quote, economic force as he cast the U.S. trade deficit with Canada, a natural resource-rich nation that provides the U.S. with commodities like crude oil and petroleum. He says this is a subsidy that would be coming to an end. Canadian leaders firing back after earlier dismissing Trump's rhetoric as a joke. Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly saying in a post on X, quote, "President-elect Trump's comments show a complete lack of understanding of what makes Canada a strong country. Our economy is strong, our people are strong, we will never back down in the face of threats." And the country's outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was even more blunt, saying, quote, "There isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States." And from Haiti, more than 5,600 people reported killed in Haiti last year as a UN-backed mission led by Kenya struggles to contain rampant gang violence. The number of killings increased by more than 20% compared with all of 2023, according to the UN Human Rights Office Tuesday. In addition, more than 2,200 people were reported injured and nearly 1,500 kidnapped. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights saying in a statement, quote, "These figures alone cannot do the absolute horrors being perpetrated in Haiti, but they show the unremitting violence to which people are being subjected." Among the victims are two police officers killed when gunmen opened fire on a crowd that gathered on Christmas Eve for the much-anticipated reopening of Haiti's biggest public hospital, which gangs forced closed earlier this year. Overall, gang violence has left more than 700,000 Haitians, with many crowding into makeshift and unsanitary shelters after gunmen razed their homes. Last year's victims include more than 200 people killed in early December in a gang-controlled slum, many of them older Haitians, after a gang leader sought to avenge his son's death following voodoo rituals. According to the UN, it was one of the biggest massacres reported in Port-au-Prince in recent history. In sports, Bahamian sophomore wide receiver with the Boise State University Broncos, Prince Strachan, has entered the transfer portal and confirmed by multiple reports. Standing at 6'5" and weighing 211 pounds, Strachan has been a key player for Boise State, serving as their number 3 wide receiver throughout the 2024 season. Strachan concluded his sophomore year with 25 receptions, amassing 304 touchdowns. His performance in the Fiesta Bowl notable, where he caught 4 passes totaling 40 yards in Boise State's 31-14 loss to Penn State in the college football playoff quarterfinals. Strachan reeling in a 20-yard pass late in the third quarter, but it was negated due to hands to the face penalties. Read more about what he's doing and planning to do in today's Guardian Sports section. Our very own Jared Higgs, founder and head coach of Kicks Academy and recently appointed head coach of Queens College's junior boys soccer team, has achieved a major milestone in his coaching career, earning his U.S. Soccer B license. The credential part of U.S. Soccer's professional coaching pathway represents a big step forward for Higgs and the development of young soccer players. The U.S. Soccer B license is a professional coaching certification that prepares coaches to lead competitive youth and amateur teams. It focuses on advanced principles of team management, player development, and tactical execution. Read more about what Higgs is saying about this in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders have fired. They're taking questions during an end-of-season news conference, even though his future as Las Vegas Raiders remained very much in question. The organization could have informed Pierce, as they did Tuesday, that his services were no longer required, but they let him do the press conference anyway. Pierce was asked during the press conference, sending mixed messages until the announcement a day later that he'd been fired just one season after one season as their full-time coach with a 4-13 record. And from the NBA, coach Steve Kerr criticizing his Golden State Warriors for being down and lacking a competitive spirit in their latest embarrassing loss. Kerr saying after a 114-98 loss to the Miami Heat Tuesday night, quote, "If you don't have that, you've got nothing, so we've got to find a way to build that back up." Speaking of that competitive spirit, that followed a 30-point pounding from the Sacramento Kings 2 nights earlier. Draymond Green is calling for the Warriors to rediscover their soul. Stephen Curry is making it clear he can hardly do it all himself. At one moment in the second half Tuesday, the 2-time MVP looked up at the scoreboard almost as if in disbelief about how it was going. The Warriors are missing shots and missing defensive assignments when it matters the most. And Tatum scoring 29 points. Kristaps Porzingis adding 25, and the Boston Celtics holding off the depleted Denver as 3-time NBA MVP Nikola Jokic sat out because of an illness. Porzingis had 11 rebounds while Drew Holiday contributed 19 points. The Celtics attempted 35 three-pointers, which is well below their season average of 50.17. Instead, they outscored the Nuggets by a 60-46 margin in the paint. Russell Westbrook had 26 points for Denver and 8 turnovers. Michael Porter Jr. added 15 points and 10 rebounds, and the Nuggets dropped to 10-7 at home. They were 3-8 last season. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a weakening cold front across the southeast Bahamas now. That's going to continue to drift southeasterly and dissipate as large high pressure across the United States will build over the Bahamas. A couple of reinforcing cold fronts, one arriving Thursday with the other moving into the islands by Saturday. That's going to mean an extended cool period, cooler temperatures and mostly stable weather through the remainder of the week into your holiday weekend. Beachgoers and swimmers should be alert along Atlantic beaches due to the elevated risk of rip currents along those areas. And we're expecting moderate north to northeasterly swells along Atlantic exposures. Your forecast for today for most of the country, a mix of sun and clouds becoming fair tonight. Only about a 10% chance to. Winds north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. High temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, maybe 74 Fahrenheit if you're lucky, 23 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the low 60s, around 60 Fahrenheit for most areas, 17 Celsius. Even lower possibly for the extreme northern Bahamas, dipping into the mid to upper 50s. That's your morning blend weather check. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit.
It's a new day.
It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking at holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express. Or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 39.
It's a new day.
This holiday season, stay connected to the ones you love with Alive. Switch today and get 5 gigabytes of data free with your first 30-day plan. Whether you're sharing holiday moments or enjoying Jonkanuwan Bay, Alive keeps you connected all season long. Visit BeAlive.com to make the switch today. It's good to be alive.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Got a lot to talk about this morning. The U.S. Surgeon General saying that alcohol is very dangerous and needs warnings like cigarette cartons do. He is saying people need to take this very seriously. Is he over-exaggerating or is he onto something? What are the facts? We're going to be talking about that this morning. We've got an expert coming in to talk to later in the business. We were going to get to this yesterday, but we're going to do it today. So lots of commentary about a proposed concert with a very controversial and still popular artist. Tensions rising on many levels. We're going to discuss that. I want to get your views on it this morning. That's all ahead. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. And in the news, it's what many have been waiting for, what was going to happen after that investigation into the inner workings of the Criminal Investigation Department. And now we have charges. Big headlines in the papers. Former CID chief charged, prominent attorney, police sergeant also facing charges. Our Artesia Davis writing about this today. CID chief, that's the Criminal Investigations Department, Chief Michael Johnson, Tuesday, charged along with Attorney Bjorn Ferguson and Sergeant D'Angelo Roll following a months-long investigation. The charges stem from a series of leaked recordings of conversations allegedly between Johnson and wanted theft suspect Michael Fox Jr. Johnson faces charges of conspiracy to commit bribery, stealing, receiving, and accessory after the fact. Prosecutors allege that Johnson conspired with Ferguson and Fox to solicit an advantage from Fox between November 6th and November 15th, 23. The former chief superintendent of police is also accused of stealing $90,000 from Akil Holmes on November 3rd. The money is alleged to be part of the proceeds of the theft of that $1.475 million from a car at Odyssey Airport in New Providence. Holmes, a former employee of ICS Security Company, was last year accused of stealing the money on November 3rd. Johnson is also accused of receiving the $90,000 from Roll, an officer in CID. He's further accused of serving as an accessory after the fact to Fox by enabling him to avoid due process of the law. Ferguson is also accused of helping Fox avoid due process. Roll's accused of abetting his superior officer in committing the offense of stealing. The men were not required to enter pleas to the charges when they appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley yesterday. Attorneys Muriel Ducil KC complained that the particulars of the charges were defective as Johnson is accused of conspiring with himself. Okay. Ducil also noted that Holmes was not listed as a witness on the court docket. Chief Magistrate Reckley made note of their observations and adjourned the matter to January 30th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Bail was set at $25,000 for Johnson and $7,500 each for Ferguson and Roll. Roll is on bail for manslaughter concerning the police-involved shooting of Azario Major on December 26th, 2021, my God. Johnson is represented by Lucille, along with Brian Bastian. Damien Gomez, KC, and C.G. Smith represent Ferguson. However, Gomez was not present, so Cargill appeared in instead. Yvonne Maynard represented Roll, who's been interdicted from duty. Okay. Chester Robards, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good to have you with
us. It's been
us.
that long?
Yeah, quite something. I know a lot of people have been wondering where this was going to go. We heard last year that this was now in the hand of the DBP, and people were wondering, that's the Director of Public Prosecutions, wondering how long it would take before we see what would come out of it. And it certainly didn't take long. Didn't take long at all. I believe the file was handed, it seems, from what we were told by the previous commissioner, handed late December. So it's been only a matter of a week or so. Mm-hmm. And here we are. I must say, some of the commentary on the various news sites and Facebook pages, Bahamians, I need you all to be, you don't have to respond to everything. You really don't.
Are they telling stories or are they
just
being
saying,
funny?
I don't know if they certainly aren't funny, but just some really silly things. Why did they get bail and all this? I mean, it's a constitutional right to bail. And I know we have concerns when people charged with multiple murders are put out on are out on bail. We have concerns, but they still have a right if they can prove that they're not a flight risk. But I just need everyone to be sensible. And again, yes, freedom of speech, you're entitled to, but you don't have to say something to everything. You're not required to make a comment. Be sensible.
Yeah, it's become a disease.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And they can't stay away from it.
Like, what do you feel good about? Your name is attached to this.
It's an addiction.
You feel good saying that there? That's very, very silly.
It's an
but
addiction.
anyway, that's me being judgmental.
It's the thing that they have in their life.
You got to. But you know what the worst disease is? And I have it. The
compulsion to go to it.
Compulsion to read the comments on everything. Like I say, I'm looking for a specific comment. I'm going to go read it. And I will find it.
Yep.
But it just have to. Like, and then you're shocked, like, no one said this. Wow. People are maturing. No, it'll be there. So
But you were thinking it, so what does that say?
I'm thinking, I bet you someone's going to say this because knowing how. I see what you're trying to do, Chester. We'll move on. Anyway, there's not much we can say about this, and I don't want you all to lead us into foolishness.
Not
But,
into
the
evil.
phone line are, boy. I'm going to cut you quick. I'm going to cut you quick today if you say anything silly. 323, remember, it is innocent until proven guilty. 325-4316. 325-4259. Give us a toll-free call if you're in the Family Islands. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Okay, let me roll with what you were reporting, Dwight. Taking into consideration 7 months ago, consider the persons that were arrested. There wasn't only small goldfish in that tank, okay? Second of all, let's take into consideration the time that investigation had to take to get to this point. Okay, good. Taking into consideration, one of the attorneys or two of the attorneys are already picking apart them charges that they charged with. This is what was reported. And then taking into final consideration, I always tell the nation and you all that persons accused or charged, anybody could charge you or accuse you anything, but they don't get themselves bail and they don't get themselves off and all them kind of things. That comes under the purview of the lawyer and the magistrate. And taking into final consideration, the lawyers, attorneys, I hear you call just now, Dwight. It's just a matter of time. Thanks for taking my call.
A matter of time for what?
It's just a matter of
What's
time.
a matter of time?
Dwight, cousin Dwight, you say you don't want us jumping overboard, right? Or you cut us.
Okay. All right. Well, let's leave that there. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Okay, let me get a little more.
No.
All you have to say is the suggestion is they have really good lawyers who have really good success rates.
Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning.
Hi. Hi.
Morning.
Hi, you're on the air. Are you on
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning to Chester. Boy, Dwight, let me tell you something. The biggest problem, Dwight, and one of you agreed with me, man. Leadership, they are never held truly accountable. But the small man, the average man like me and you, we get the highest prosecution when we do wrong. You agree with that?
They built the system and they control it.
Okay.
I don't know if I entirely agree with that. I mean, it happens. Everything it
Everywhere.
happens on all sides.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And then the thing about it,
for
Dwight,
both.
what disturbed me is that these people have the laws and these constitutions, and then they have these lawyers. And once the money right, Dwight, boy, it's really laughable, boy, Dwight. But you know, I put it like this, right? See, remember, I give you a little spiritual twist right now. Remember that Satan was tempting Christ in the wilderness. And what I'm trying to say is, we all are humans, especially our leaders in top key positions in this country. They're humans just like you and I, Dwight. You know, I mean, yes, we have a mandate to uphold the justice and the right things that is required of us. But boy, Dwight, I think imagine what some of them fellas go through when deal come across them and it's $90,000 or $1 million cash, Dwight. You know how much temptation that is, Dwight? And then if that person ain't got no Christ in them and no God in them, boy, Dwight, I ain't gonna lie, the average person can do the same thing. So, but I
don't know if that's
whatever
right.
they're doing, trying to set an example. The commissioner resigned, the Michael guy, the CDU guy is charged, but we know how this world runs, Dwight. But I just hope we use this as an example, and we all just pray for our leaders, man. Pray for us, right? We need prayers because if you and I may not take the office, if you and I may not commit, boy, but I love that money is a serious thing, Dwight. But I just want you to keep up the good work, man, and you know, let's continue to pray for the Bahamas and pray for our leaders. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
That's right.
Thank you. We don't know what happened here. Again, these are just charges, but
Well,
in
he was
general
being
speaking,
very general.
yes, in general. Okay.
People get themselves in all kind of problems over money.
Some text message. How do you conspire with yourself? Well, you along with others, right? Isn't maybe it's just the wording that's the issue.
It's the wording.
I don't think it's
so you
the charge.
conspired along with others,
Right.
and then
Usually-
conspired basically by yourself. You were alone in this particular matter.
Yeah. You came up with the scheme, but that will be sorted, I'm sure, before it gets any further. This texter says here, when the poor and the destitute steal a loaf of bread via a voice note, why would they do that? What now? I now know it'll take 5 to 6 months to complete investigations and for them to be charged. No, it won't. No, you know better than that. My God is right. The stories. But anyway, I'm going to edit this because you're implying a lot of things, and we don't want to put that out there. But what is going on in our institutions? They got to take out stuff.
What?
That's the question.
What
That's a good.
institutions?
All of them.
All of them? Okay.
Those are good questions. Yes, we got. Well, as
Financial
the previous
institutions?
texter says, just everything in the Bahamas. People are human, some, and some are hurting, and some are greedy, and some feel that they could do things without getting caught and get away with it. And so, when you have situations like that, people will push the limits, push the boundaries.
Yes.
And and especially if you have a reputation of being slack on things, a lot of people are going to try press their luck, right? But if we crack down on these things, is what we keep saying, the little things especially, start there, but also at the top, do everything that you're supposed to do. People will say, I can't do that because it's not going to work. I know they're going to catch me, and that'll be the end of everything, my reputation. I'll go to jail. My family will be destroyed. But a lot of people are thinking, I know somebody who did this, and they're good. I just need to get that lawyer, just need to do this, and I'll be fine. And too many people around here think like that, clearly.
Yep.
Not saying that's what happened here, of course. But that is just the way the Bahamas is framed these days.
And the odds seem to be in their favor.
Sadly.
Yes.
Sadly. And we're all to blame by
accepting,
doing it, being friends of the people who are accused of those things, and going to their parties.
We've all been a party to
work party, literally, hanging out with them, working for them.
Big party coming up too.
What?
What?
Ah, boy, going to them to borrow money. Right? All these silly things send the wrong messages to everybody that, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. This is the place to do it. The international folks know it.
Yep,
Foreigners come here because, over there, they don't care. Just give them some money,
Yeah.
and they'll turn a blind eye.
That's why they catching certain fish and things during close season and doing whatever they want to do.
Like blockfish, big squares.
Those, no, they,
not that type of fish.
No, they don't catch them. You gotta wait on the shoreline for them.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. This texter here, gonna be very difficult for them to get a fair trial. Oh, really? Why do you think that?
To get a fair trial.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can opt, I believe, right now. You can do it. You can opt for a jury trial or or a judge. What do you think they would do? Here's a text. In other scandalous news, is there follow-up on the media about the Prime Minister's trip to Jamaica? And the company involved in the housing deal here in the Bahamas now going bankrupt, whatnot? Any updates on how Bahamas gets borrowing from there in the first place, or push for more info from the opposition?
Which company gone bankrupt?
I don't know. What did I miss? Was I in a coma? What's happening? Do you know about this?
I don't know
What's
about
going
this.
on? 3 men are dead associated with this $1 million heist. Is that in the charges too?
I mean, it's a good question.
Lawyers on both sides are very intelligent already. Some people may think it. No, I'm not going to read that line. Police should get stiffer penalties for crimes they commit. Their punishment should be more than the average citizen. Bail should not be given or more. Well, you're going to need some constitutional changes. Let's take these calls really quickly, and then I do want to move on. Got to talk about the biggest threat to our way of life, our human race, the incoming president of the United States, who is speaking like somebody used to speak in the 1930s in Europe.
Elon Musk?
Okay, was he around the 1930s? I think he might be the reincarnation of that person.
Is that the incoming president you're talking about?
Oh, boy. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there?
Good morning. Pleasant day.
Hi, good morning.
In matters relating to the court, if you plead guilty, you are guilty. If you plead not guilty, it doesn't mean that you're not guilty. If you have a good lawyer, you can be set free. Now, I want to know if our esteemed lawyers that were mentioned in this recent case, if they will take on the case for the persons who are indicted in the States. And also, I did not hear the charges of the murders mentioned in the case.
It's not about
I
that.
would like to know also whether the money
This isn't
was
about
returned.
that. No, well, I mean, we'll hear that when the case gets underway.
And
but it's not about the
also
murder.
would
It's
say
that's
they
something
have
else.
a lot of money to pay for the lawyer as well. So that's why we need the disclosures and the Freedom of Information Act. You remember the disclosure of all public officials, how they became wealthy and so on and things like that once in public office.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. So that's not. That's the second time someone's mentioned the murders, but anyway, this is not related to, not directly. Anyway, good morning, call. You're on the air. Oh boy.
Good morning to both of you fine gentlemen.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Dwight, I'm wondering, the caller who talked about the money being right, is there a standard legal fee that lawyers have to charge you based on the procedures that they're doing, or is it based on the volume and the weight of the case? For example, like I'm familiar with what's going on in America. If you want to, say, have a judge enforce a judgment, or have a lawyer enforce a judgment for you by first filing a writ and taking it to the sheriff's office so that you can do some debt collection. If you were to ask him, what's the fee for that? He wants to know what's the value and the amount of the debt that you're going to collect before he tells you.
I don't know if this is a helpful discussion. We're leading us right now. I mean, we don't know. People know each other. Who knows what? Why do you want to?
What I'm trying to say is, the money got to be right.
Okay.
That's all.
These people know each other a long time. They might be doing it as their friends. So who knows what they're charging? I don't know if that's relevant to this in any way, shape, or form. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Just welcome back.
Good morning, thank you.
Amidst all of these narrative BS I'm hearing on the radio, right? I'm very sickened.
What BS are you hearing?
Any summons for Batelco phone records, bank records to really prove or show some things, right? These problems goes beyond case. Maybe Mr. Johnson may be using as an scapegoat.
All right, let's stop. Let's stop. We gotta stop this entire thing. These are charges. The case is going to be heard soon. Everybody, calm down. Calm down. I don't know what BS you're hearing. These are the charges. That's all. I blame myself. I should not have allowed you all to even comment. We're gonna go. Everybody, allow the law to take its course for this to come out. Everybody, just keep your comments to yourself, and let's allow this to be fair without your judgments.
Save it for social media.
No, and please don't do that either, right? Because especially if this does go to the jury trial, I mean, we're really screwing everything over. And I'm sure
they're going to use
that will work
things
in the best interest to be a jury trial, I suspect. Let's go to the break. When we come back, I'm very disturbed by the comments of Donald Trump. His comments about Canada and the Panama Canal and Greenland. This is very dangerous.
What's wrong with those comments?
And I need you to be serious too, because we can't joke about it today. Is he any different from Putin? Is he any different from
two negatives?
Mr. Man in the 30s in Europe with this kind of talk? The people in these countries didn't say, we want to be a part of the United States. That would be a different story. He's saying that we need to take them. What's happening? This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We'll be back.
You tell me this is your first time, but I hear you shouting more. It's like you've been whining, you've been rake and scraping, you've been drunk on new wind, you've been bump and whining, you think you're fooling. Oh no, but I see you coming, I see you coming. Now let me see you do it. Oh yeah.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
It is time for your first good traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the work going on Blue Hill Road, and you're going to want to avoid the area in Hillcrest Drive and Zion Boulevard. That is slated to take place between 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. This is paving work that's going on. And so avoid the area if you can. This is expected to continue through Friday at least. If you can, avoid the area or follow the posted traffic signs during the work hours, 9:30 to 2:30. In your real-time traffic right now, we are seeing heavy traffic on Blue Hill Road, especially near St. Vincent Road and Carmichael. That Carmichael Blue Hill Junction looking very busy for you. Traffic backed up quite a ways on Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill Road, and then from Blue Hill northbound, at that point, straight up to Independence Drive, you're going to be seeing slow-moving traffic there. Independence Drive westbound to Blue Hill Road and the roundabout, pretty busy there as well. Just west of that area, Tonic Williams-Darling Highway, slow-moving westbound traffic to Bahamas Games Boulevard. And then traffic is busy again as you get closer to Mila Butler Highway. Mila Butler Highway looking very busy for you from Fire Trail northbound to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. And there's slow-moving traffic southbound on Mila Butler Highway as well, heading towards that roundabout with Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. Slow-moving traffic for you just north of the Fire Trail intersection straight up to John F. Kennedy Drive. And we've got some building traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. In eastern New Providence, we've got Eastern Road looking busy for you from San Souci to about Johnson Road westbound, and pockets along Prince Charles Drive, especially the closer you get to Beatrice Avenue, and then that Robinson Road, Soldier Road area. Not looking pretty, especially in Robinson Road, slow-moving traffic all the way up to Marathon Road and East-West Highway. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a weakening cold front across the south that's going to continue to drift southeasterly and dissipate as large high pressure across the United States will build across the Bahamas. And a couple of reinforcing cold fronts expected to move into the area, one arriving tomorrow, Thursday, with the other moving into the area on Saturday. These are going to bring extended cooler temperatures and mostly stable weather through the remainder of the week. Beachgoers and swimmers should be alert along Atlantic beaches for the elevated risk of rip currents along those areas. And moderate north to northeasterly swells will continue along Atlantic exposures. For today, over most of the country, look for a mix of sun and clouds becoming fair tonight. Only about a 10% chance of stray showers today. High temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, around 75 Fahrenheit, about 22 Celsius. Look for overnight lows tonight getting down to the low 60s in most areas, the upper 50s for the extreme northern Bahamas tonight. In your extended outlook for tomorrow, Thursday, again, a mix of sun and clouds becoming fair at night with a 20% chance of isolated showers. Friday, partly sunny during the day, fair at night. That's your holiday, majority rule day. And Saturday, partly cloudy across the northwest, sunny across the central and southeast Bahamas, and significantly cooler temperatures for Thursday, Friday, and before we warm up again by Saturday. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
The best for all your printing needs. There ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
located in the Nassau Guardian Building. Telephone 302-2361.
On Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m., the Bahama Convention Center will set the stage for an unforgettable celebration of 25 years of giving healthcare education in the Bahamas. Experience a night of excitement with exquisite fine dining, captivating live entertainment, and an inspiring atmosphere as we come together to celebrate and shape a brighter, healthier future. Tickets are available now. Reserve your spot today by emailing dhfoundation@doctorshosp.com or calling 242-302-4640. Sponsorship opportunities are also available to show your support for this important cause. The Doctors Hospital Maya Rassin Foundation. 25 years of transforming healthcare and building a legacy. Don't miss this special celebration.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. Stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBC FCIB-Inspired Home for more information. Conditions apply.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, buddy? Oh, yeah, develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do? What does do?
Check the website once. Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Here's a price list of some of the roofing material we carry at Pinda Enterprises. 5/8 pressure-treated roofing ply starting at $36.68. Gray Select Water Shield, $134.20 a roll. Felt, 15 pounds, $16.50. 30 pound, $19.80. Owens, Corning Duration Shingles, and Certain Teed Landmark Shingles, $56.56 a bundle. Gallon of roof cement, $33.47. All sizes treated dimensional lumber. And of course, we have all nails and all screws. We have 5/8 sheetrock, $28.76. Half-inch sheetrock, $22.18. All prices include VAT.
Are you craving that fresh, famous food, but don't want to break the bank? Wendy's has got you covered. You can now enjoy the $5 Dave's deal at all participating Wendy's locations. Enjoy a Dave's single, a classic, or spicy chicken sandwich made with fresh ingredients for just $5. So don't compromise on Wendy's always offers fresh, famous food at a great price. Certain conditions apply.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/Inspired Home for more information. Conditions apply.
Ready to mash this party up, it's Rick and Script full non-stop. Hey! Rick and Script. Rick and Script. D-Max style. Rick and Script. Oh yeah! Rick and Script. I see you coming from a mile away, girl. Rick and Script. I see you coming. Yeah, hey! She says she's a real good girl, she only goes to church then home. I say I'm a real good guy like Rick and Script, I stay in my zone. She says she don't party hard, I tell her I'm a partier. She tell me she ain't no cutter. but she'll go out with me. She say that she drinks Calyx, but only 3, and then she's done. I tell her I wish they had Calyx or drips, so party can done. She tell me she's a friend to know. I tell her I'm the one to trust. I tell her when we go to the dance, it's only just.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, and Chester Ross. We're going to go to news in just a bit, but just let me read a few of these messages before we get into that discussion about what's that guy saying?
Gulf of America?
Gulf of America. Yeah. If my God, if you know, a place could call something whatever they want. But let me tell you something, like how I refuse to call Twitter by the name that their crazy owner calls it. I refuse to say it. Never one day will you ever hear at least anybody call that thing the Gulf of America.
The thing?
The Gulf of what?
The USA Canal?
Oh, boy. This text here, Dwight, free speech is free speech. Who made you judge and jury over relevant comments from your callers to your show? Yeah, me. That's who made the owners of the station. And, yeah, I have to make sure that you all don't say stupidness is going to get people in trouble or cause a case to get thrown out. Free speech, that's not how it works. You don't understand what this means. You cannot say anything you want, especially on the airwaves. You have to be responsible. That is arrogance and belligerence.
Why don't they text their free speech about what they want to say?
Call it. I mean, don't call this show, but
text so we could send the.
But they're doing it now. That's
that's
arrogance and belligerence. You trying to police people's opinions and want them to only listen to your bridal, soft, and cowardice opinion and views, which is not fair. It's like you think everything that is said and does not align with your train of thought is negative. You are wrong, in my opinion. Well, you're an idiot.
Well,
How about that? How
why
about
don't you
that?
send your beefcake opinion on
very silly person
on the trial
who will get everybody in trouble.
And let a bench warrant come out for you.
This matters before the courts. You don't need to hear people giving their opinion on stupidness. Let all their concerns come up in the court case, and we'll see how this goes. This is not the time for your opinion, especially not. You could go into your bar and talk to your little friend about whatever you think, but you can't say these things on the radio. You can't. That's not how free speech works. Get a clue. We'll be back after the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I hopped up the plane at LAX with a dream, my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in? Jumped in the cab, here I am for the first time. Look to my right and I see the Hollywood sign. This is all so crazy. Everybody seems so famous. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. That's when the taxi man turned on the radio and a Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. So I put my hands up to play that song. The butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. Got my hands up to play my song. I know I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. It's a party in the USA.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robart. It's going to be 4 interesting years. Will it be a party? I don't know. But already the wacky, crazy talk has begun. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump on Tuesday said he would not rule out the use of military force to seize control of the Panama Canal and Greenland, as he declared U.S. control of both would be vital to American national security. He's also making unusual comments about Canada. More on that in a bit. The Associated Press reporting that while he was speaking to reporters just less than 2 weeks before he takes office on January 20th, and as a delegation of aides and advisors, including his son, Donald Jr., is in Trump left open, or was yesterday, Trump left open the use of the military, the American military, to secure both territories. He's open to it. Trump's intention marks a rejection of decades of U.S. policy that has prioritized self-determination over territorial expansion. When asked if he would rule out the use of the military, Trump said, quote, "I'm not going to commit to that. Not going to commit to ruling it out. It might be that you'll have to do something. The Panama Canal is vital to our country. we need Greenland for national security purposes. Greenland, home to a large U.S. military base, is an autonomous territory of Denmark, a longtime U.S. ally and a founding member of NATO. Trump cast doubts on the legitimacy of Denmark's claim to Greenland. The Panama Canal has been solely controlled by Panama for more than 25 years. The U.S. returned the Panama Canal Zone to the country in 1979 and ended its joint partnership in controlling the strategic waterway in 1999. Addressing Trump's comments in an interview with Danish broadcaster TV2, Prime Minister Mette called the United States Denmark's most important and closest ally, and that she did not believe that the United States will use military or economic power to secure control over Greenland. You know how terrifying that is for the leader of a country to have to say things like this?
It's the person they chose.
Well, I mean, that he's forcing people, the leaders of other countries, to talk about, no, I don't think our friend would take us over. Anyway, Frederiksen repeated that she welcomed the United States taking a greater interest in the Arctic region, but that it would, quote, have to be done in a way that is respectful of the Greenlandic people. Oh, that's an odd type of comment there, though. What? Anyway, she said, quote, at the same time, it must be done in a way that allows Denmark and the United States to still cooperate in, among other things, NATO.
What are you talking about? Create a closer cooperation, not a takeover.
Wait, so she almost sounds open to...
What?
What, right? Doesn't it sound weird?
Maybe...
It must be respectful to the Greenlandic people and must be done in a way that allows Denmark... What are you saying? Anyway... Okay, well, maybe he might get part of Greenland. Oh, boy. Earlier, Trump posted a video of his private plane landing in Nuuk, the Arctic Territory's capital, in a landscape of snow-capped peaks and fjords. Trump wrote, quote, Don Jr. and my reps landing in Greenland. The reception has been great. They and the free world need safety, security, strength. It must happen. MAGA, in caps, make Greenland great again.
Wait, what now?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. In a statement, Greenland's government said Donald Trump Jr.'s visit was taking place as a private individual and not as an official visit, and Greenlandic representatives would not meet with him. So it's a lot of confusion and chaos and delusion.
Denmark trying to get rid of it, and the Greenlandic people are like, well, what are you doing?
Independence, that's what they need to seek. Meanwhile, the Panamanian foreign minister said his government hasn't had formal contact with Trump or representatives of the incoming administration, but reiterated previous comments from the country's president, Jose Raul Mulino, who last month said that the canal will remain in Panamanian hands. The foreign minister saying, quote, the sovereignty of our canal is not negotiable and is part of our history of struggle and an irreversible conquest. Trump has been floating having Canada join the United States as the 51st state. He said Tuesday that he would not use military force to invade Canada, which is home to more than 40 million people and is a founding NATO partner as well. Instead, he said he would rely on, quote, economic force as he cast the U.S. trade deficit with Canada as a subsidy that would be coming to an end. Canada is a natural resource-rich nation that provides the U.S. with commodities like crude oil and petroleum. Canadian leaders firing back after earlier dismissing Trump's rhetoric as a joke. The Canadian foreign minister saying on X, quote, President-elect Trump's comments show a complete lack of understanding of what makes Canada a strong country. Our economy is strong. We will never back down in the face of threats. More blunt, saying, quote, there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada will become part of the United States. Well, promising a golden age of America, Trump also said he would move to try to rename the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America, saying that that has a, quote, beautiful ring to it. He said he believes that NATO should dramatically increase its spending targets, with members of the Transatlantic Alliance spend at least 5% of their GDPs on defense spending, up from the current 2%. And Trump also said that at the press conference that current U.S. President Joe Biden was undermining his transition to power after Biden said he would ban offshore energy drilling in federal waters. But anyway, let's focus on these very odd statements that he's making about Greenland, Panama, the Panama Canal, and Canada especially.
Donald Sauron Trump is talking about rings and the USA is Middle Earth.
This is disturbing. Can you imagine if Vladimir Putin said, I think we want Alaska back. We're going to take Alaska back. It'll be great when Alaska is returned to Russia. That would not sit well with most people. But the reaction on social media, especially Twitter yesterday, of people, saying, yeah, this will be great for Canada to be part of the United States. Very, very odd. And people joking about the Gulf of America, yeah, that makes more sense and all this stuff.
They must be joking about it.
I don't know. If you look at the people these were the usual types, the people who voted them in. So
why would a president think he could just go rename a body that touches several countries?
Well, I was reading some articles. So different countries call things different things. So
so you can call it whatever you want.
could.
Yeah.
They could do it. Doesn't mean that the rest of us have to call it that. They could decide to call whatever. They're talking about how the Persian Gulf in those countries is not called that. They often call it the Arabian Gulf, and there are other examples in the Sea of Japan.
He's not going to change the map.
Well, I mean, he'll try to change the American maps, right? And unfortunately, that's where most of our textbooks come from. Like the example of the Sea of Japan, Korea doesn't like to call it that, and so there are all these things. So that happens.
Yeah.
But it just shows, like, after all these years, probably centuries, like what is this thinking? What is his way of thinking? And what if one day he says, you know what? It's time. They're so close. Let's take Bimini. Let's take Grand Bahama. Some of you would like that. But what if he just says it? Like, we're going to do this and we're going to turn it into a nuclear testing site.
You mean they don't own Bimini?
Nuclear testing site, right? What if he says, the Bahamas are little tiny islands. Who cares?
Isn't Andros already a testing site?
Maybe the whole
something?
NASA is a dumb test bombs there. This is crazy stuff. And again, we've seen this before. Maybe not a lot of us who are alive, but we have the records to show this type of talk has happened before from world leaders, and it never ends well. You could say this is what's going on with Russia and Ukraine right now. Right now. Is it a joke? Is it funny? If you're living in that country and someone says we're going to take them over, should you be like, he's such a clown, ha ha ha? Or should you be like, wait, what's happening here?
No.
Okay. I'm sure that's how Poland was in
America.
30s
Yeah, but
as well.
okay, but America has safeguards against that kind of tyranny.
Oh, yeah? Yeah? You sure?
Oh, they don't?
Okay. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. What do you make of it? You think it's a joke? You think it's something that we should not be, that no one should be getting worked up about? You think Canada should laugh it off? Or what do you say?
I think Donald Trump has loads of childish ambitions that are very pie in the sky and that he could never make happen. Like his wall that only got so far because it was a huge ambition.
Well, if he had 8 years, it might have been a different story. But that's scary. Childish, you said? Pie in the sky.
Yes.
But he is soon to, again, be the President of the United States, the most powerful country still in the world.
And still answerable.
Nuclear codes.
And still answerable to a body of lawmakers.
Yeah. Who will do anything he says, as they've proven.
Oh, you think they'll go that far?
Okay. If they believe that their wealth would be increased immensely if they were to do these things.
There are probably more right-thinking people like yourself in the United States than there are crazy people
No, I don't think so.
who would go to war with a country over the Panama Canal.
They love war. What are you talking about?
Of course, they love war.
Yeah.
But
small things.
But rarely do they.
And Denmark's already giving you Greenland.
Don't do that. Don't do
Hey,
that.
like, well, if it makes sense, we could do it.
Rarely are they overtly the aggressor. Let me say overtly.
Okay.
Rarely.
Let's hear from our callers. Good morning, caller. What say you on this? What do you think?
Dwight, how you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning, Chester. How you doing?
Morning. Good. How you doing?
I gonna make two comments this morning. The first one I want to make is when you guys were talking about the incident with the police them. Dwight, I think they can get us scores free because they ain't got the witness and they ain't got the money trail. I'm not a lawyer, but you know how our country go. Innocent until no witness, no nothing. I believe they get scored free.
Well, I don't know if you know that. I mean, we don't know who the witnesses are. We don't know anything yet. This is not it hasn't gone to the case yet, so you can't say that yet. But anyway, what's your next point?
With a strong leader like Donald Trump, see, a lot of people just don't read. See, I've fallen international news for 25, 30 years. Al Jazeera and all them. We know CNN and MSNBC, they liberals, man. They just hate the Trump, right? So my thing is this: when Barack Obama and those was all about in the world, him and Biden was president and co-leader. You know what happened? They skipped the Bahamas. The Chinese moved right in, build a stadium, do all kinds of things in the Caribbean and Africa. All Donald Trump saying is, my brother, is that they built Panama Canal, and the Chinese got plenty of influence on there. See, Panama is designed to take a shortcut rather than going all the way around, if you all understand what I'm trying to say. So Trump, all Trump saying he can make America great again, and he believes in America. Not like our leaders, because our leaders look like they like the foreigners or the image. I'm trying to take my call.
Was that supposed to convince us that what Donald Trump is saying about the Panama Canal is okay?
So I want you to see that he's going to do what he wants. Chester, you don't get it.
No.
You don't. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hope all is well.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's going to be a long 4 years.
Oh, my.
Man,
Or the shortest. When the whole place is
never know.
destroyed. Yeah, it would be.
You know, one of the greatest things that I think about is, Dwight, I think you referenced it somewhat where you talked about how, back in the day, when the fella up in Germany was saying what he was saying, and everybody thought he was crazy.
Yep.
And everybody was flippant about,
Very
his
much.
statements and all that stuff.
That's right.
And as a result, you see what happened.
Absolutely.
And I think in the same vein, we take for light that this fella is making statements. He's projecting everything that he believes and everything that he thinks. And there are people who are willing to carry out all his ideas, and some of those, quite frankly, believe the things that he's saying, and they want to see what he's saying come to fruition. And so we may say and sit back and think that it's all just rhetoric and nothing is going to happen. I heard Chester said that there are some guardrails or whatever that they have. But we have seen with the whole January 6th situation, the guardrails have been taken off, and there were people who were a part of the administration of justice. They were participants in whatever transpired. So we really got to look at this in a serious way and consider things for ourselves, But we got to watch out ourselves because, he already threw out some stuff at us. So just some things to think about.
Very much so. I totally agree with you. Thank you. They have control of the House. They have control of the Senate. Whatever they want right now could happen.
And all of those people ain't eating the pie.
If you say we're all going to have, you'll be 5 times wealthier than you are. You'll have so many more, whatever that you want, because we'll have Canada and Greenland, and we'll control most of North America. You don't think people will go along with that?
By doing exactly what the English did to America when America got its freedom?
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
okay.
This is what humans do. Repeat mistakes. Repeat the past. You think they were the first empire? They certainly weren't. And they probably won't be the last, the way things are going in the world today. What?
And look at how the world was when you keep talking about Hitler. Look at how the world was then.
Is it
allowed him to build up this big machinery, and he had friends in different places, and a lot was going on.
This man says Putin is a good guy. Okay. Okay, Chester. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well,
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing well.
Well, I agree with the caller who said that he feels as if the individuals are going to get off scot-free because the history of our country has basically shown us that whenever we have high-profile cases, that it normally goes in one direction, whereas the individuals are acquitted, they get off the charges. You know, so I mean, just going by history alone, you know, I agree with him totally. But the Donald Trump situation, Donald Trump is definitely a character. You know what I mean? And the world didn't come to an end when he was president the first time, so I don't expect it to come to an end this time. But the whole thing about a nation being able to attack another nation, a stronger nation being able to attack a weaker nation, that's what the United Nations are there to prevent. Before the United Nations, there was a League of Nations, and the League of Nations was formed for that very same reason, for that same to prevent nations from more powerful nations from invading other nations and taking over. And they failed.
Is the United Nations nation now because Ukraine? Will be asking you what about us?
Yeah, I guess some of the break now, Dwight, you understand my point I'm trying to come to, because the League of Nations failed when it did not prevent Italy from attacking Ethiopia in 1936. Right, and it was dissolved, and then they formed the United Nations for that same reason. But when you look at the world today, it's obvious that the United Nations, that is either not their priority, you know what I mean? Because when you look at the situations in the world, the situation with Israel and Palestine and all these other stuff, I mean, it's like the United Nations are there, and they can't prevent, or they refuse to prevent.
It's not a military though, so I mean, it's not the military. It's trying to negotiate, and so that's kind of unfair what you're saying.
Right? But what I'm trying to say is that that is a grouping of the world's nations, right? Where they have agreed, and the reason why they came together is to prevent war, right? That's why they're there, to prevent war. But
yes, and because of various treaties, that's why countries haven't stepped in some of these disputes, unfortunately, right?
Yes, sir, but it seems as if nowadays, though, the United Nations is only nations to fall in line with international policy. You know what I mean? It seems as if that is what...
It's got lots of priorities. It's a big body. It's got a lot of goals and objectives. So, but it's complicated, and these are the same reasons why many nations won't step in to stop a superpower like a certain kind to do things that they want to do as well. I'm going to take one more call and a few messages, and we got to take a break. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Happy New Year to you and Chester.
Same to you.
I think the world in general is changing. On the Donald Trump topic, you know, after last World War II, America was in charge. They were the only people with nuclear weapons. And so kind of what they said went. And so the United Nations and all these different things were put in place and backed by U.S. military power. But today, multiple countries have nukes. Russia has nukes, China has nukes, I think Australia's looking at nukes, the European countries have nukes. And so moving forward, we're moving from a unipolar world where, you know, what America says goes to a world where, Russia has nukes, and which you can't direct me anymore. And China has nukes, and so you have to come to the table. Or if you don't have nukes, you have to listen to what I say. And so we're moving into a very turbulent future where this global understanding or agreement that disputes will be handled by the United Nations or at caution, that type of stuff may be out the window. And we may go back to the era, like you mentioned, what I agree with, that humans repeat themselves. History repeats itself, and it may look maybe a different color or a different flavor, but for the most part, the era of expansionist countries and invading other countries and just taking things, we haven't experienced it in our lifetime that much, but because we haven't experienced it doesn't mean that it can't happen, because it has happened multiple times in human history.
Yep.
And so I don't put that off the table. And I think we as the Bahamas needs to look at our international standing, not in a unipolar world where what America says goes, but in a in a multipolar world where there are multiple global players and the world is shifting, and how do we align ourselves in that? Are we going to continue the policy of what America says goes? Maybe. I don't know. That's for our leaders to decide, but that is the world that we are heading into, that our children will grow up in. And so we have to be very aware of what that looks like, and I think these conversations are the right approach to it. So please, I applaud y'all for the conversation, and it's a great conversation.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
But that's already shifting. Like the world is shifting away from America is the big brother of everybody, and I think you would watch America unravel itself before Donald Trump's plans come fully to fruition.
Okay.
I think you'll see plans around the United States before Donald Trump gets his way.
That would also be very bad. That would be very bad.
Well, of course it would be. All of it would be bad.
Yeah. So in any event, this is going to be quite a significant presidency.
They've been waiting for a civil war for a long time and stocking up their firearms.
Wow. Some messages as we go to the break. This person says here, Trump should take the Bahamas. We Negroes don't know how to run a country. That's a text. That's a real text. Yep. That's, boy, I tell you. Dwight and Chester, wait till Herschel Walker reaches. This will be a long 4 years. Okay. Conspiracy, what is this now? Okay, no. Let me see. I said it before, the same thing that brought down the first Trump administration will bring down this one, confusion. The dangerous thing is this iteration appears to be set for confusion infused with confidence. To the Bahamians who think Trump is some genius, imagine how the Spanish, English, and French could have been aided in their world colonization strategies if only they had access to Twitter. Oh, wow. That nation should belong to us. Let's take it. I predict his staff will be working overtime to save the U.S. from its case. Conspiracy has nothing to do with committing an illegal act. It's you caught planning to commit an illegal act. Okay, that's going back to the legal issues there. Yeah. Dwight, I always look forward to your show, except for when you entertain certain ignorant callers regarding the USA and their clownish leader. It's scary and unbelievable. Well, okay, well, can't be
censor
total
people.
Censor.
Yeah.
Not all the time. Just when it's anyway.
And also keep your opinions to yourself.
Dwight, let's see what Bahamians think when Trump turns his sights on the third border of the U.S., which is the Bahamas, especially since we seem hell-bent on allowing illegal migration through our country because of our corrupt practices. It's just a matter of time. Wow. Dwight has a well-produced show. Part of why we like it, you must hold him accountable. Oh, Chester, that's what they're saying. Chester, you must hold Dwight accountable.
Oh, me?
Because Dwight has a well-produced show. That's why we like it. You must hold him accountable. When he goes into this next segment, he must play the music to match it. I don't... Party of the USA didn't work? You didn't like that? Thought that was perfect. Maybe I should play America. The beauty. Anyway, Dwight, tell Chester, even though Trump has childish talks, ideas, and visions, remember he is the world's powerful child, the world's most powerful child who was voted by Americans. We here in the Bahamas, we have mature leaders who are at the mercies of the USA. Well, I don't know about the mature part, but yeah, okay. Dwight, you're pushing so much in the morning. Please use logic and stop with the emotional rants, please. Oh, with being emotional. Because I've said I was going to take over a country publicly before. Really? Okay. You're fighting a losing battle in the Bahamas. Most Bahamians are Trump supporters, so they cannot see him as doing anything bad.
Most?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
They often compare him to Jesus Christ. Yikes. Yeah. Looks like Trump is showing signs of early dementia.
Oh,
he's just short of a call for World War III. Yikes. Okay, there was another one here. Where did it go? Boy. Oh, this one says, don't get upset. Relax, calm down, save your strength. You will need your strength to, maybe you will be more upset when President Trump goes at the Navy and the Army and cleaning up to get rid of the homosexuals and lesbians. Okay. Sounds like you don't have too much faith in the Supreme Court of the United States. Is this personal, or is it because of the Roe versus Wade decision? Oh, boy. Hey, we're going to go to the break. When we come back, more of what is coming out of the U.S. The U.S. Surgeon General is saying that alcohol is extremely dangerous and needs to have warnings, and it should be considered a leading cause of cancer. We're going to talk about that with Dr. Marcus Cooper. Before we go to the break, we want to wish Duquesa Dean a happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, Duquesa.
Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy, and this is for you, Duquesa.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Did I eat up all the food? Did I drink down all the rum sweet? We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blow your candle, you done look on all your gift. We done sing a happy birthday and you done made the birthday wish. While my mind asking a question, Lord, I wonder who it will be. You give your first piece of birthday cake too. Oh Lord, my God, I pray that it's me. Oh, did I need all the food and did I drink on the rum sweet? We can scrape me dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blow your candle, you done look on all your gift. We done sing a happy birthday and you done made your birthday wish. You know I was like your buddy, closer great God than your best friend. I've been with you through the hurricane. Damn it, I'll be here when your party ends.
Experience the immediate care you deserve at Doctors Hospital Urgent Care. When emergency strikes, trust our expert physicians for fast, quality care. With extended hours and cutting-edge medical technology, we're always ready to serve you. Don't wait or take risks with your health. Visit our urgent care suite at Doctors Hospital West on Blake Road for immediate, trusted, and best care.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7766.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Esso is celebrating the season of joy and giving away a year of free fuel. To enter, visit any Esso service station and fuel up with $25 or more for a chance to win. Plus, there are other exciting prizes to be won. Just remember to write your name, number, and email address at the back of your receipt and drop it into one of the boxes provided. Terms and conditions apply. Promotion ends January 9th, 2025. So don't forget to enter to win with Esso. Esso and the Esso logo are trademarks or registered trademarks of ExxonMobil Corporation or one of its subsidiaries.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
The holidays are here, and Dunkin' is spreading the cheer this season. Let Dunkin' be a part of your celebrations. Warm up with your favorite holiday drinks, grab a box of our famous donuts for your gatherings, or treat someone special to a Dunkin' gift certificate, the gift that always runs on joy. From our Dunkin' family to yours, we wish you a season filled with laughter, love, and a whole latte happiness. Happy holidays! And remember, the Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Here's a price list of some of the roofing material we carry at Pinda Enterprises. 5/8 pressure-treated roofing ply starting at $36.68. Gray Select Water Shield, $134.20 a roll. Felt, £15, $16.50, £30, $19.80. Owens, Corning Duration Shingles, and Certainty Landmark Shingles, 6 a bundle. Gallon Roof Cement, $33.47. All sizes, treated dimensional lumber. And of course, we have all nails and all screws. We have 5-inch sheetrock, $28.76. Half-inch sheetrock, $22.18. All prices include VAT.
A quick final check of weather for today brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. We've got a weakening cold front across the southeast Bahamas now that will continue to drift southeasterly and then dissipate as a large high-pressure system across the United States will build across the Bahamas. Then a couple of reinforcing cold fronts will move into the area, one tomorrow, Thursday, with another one moving into the area by Saturday. All of this will bring cooler temperatures and more stable weather through the remainder of the week into the weekend. Beachgoers and swimmers should be alert as there's an elevated risk of rip currents along Atlantic beaches and moderate north to northeasterly swells along Atlantic exposures. For most areas today, look for a mix of sun and clouds, becoming fair tonight. Highs in the mid to upper 70s, around 22, 23 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to the low 60s for most areas, around 17, 18 Celsius. The upper 50s for the extreme northern islands in the archipelago. In your extended outlook for Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds again, becoming mostly fair at night. By majority rule day Friday, partly sunny during the day, becoming fair at night. Increasing temperatures by Saturday and Sunday, partly cloudy across the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny across the central islands as we warm up a bit after these fronts. That's your Morning Blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit today. And it's time for your final look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. Reminder of the work on Blue Hill Road South. That's going to be between Hillcrest Drive and Zion Boulevard. Paving work continuing there weekdays between 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. This is expected to continue through Friday. And you're asked to avoid the area if you can or follow the posted signs. Again, that's 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Blue Hill Road South. In your real-time traffic right now, still seeing some heavy traffic on Blue Hill Road, especially from St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive. Carmichael is backed up quite a ways eastbound on, if you're there right now, just east of Fire Trail. And Independence Drive also seeing heavy traffic westbound to the Blue Hill Road roundabout. Tawny Williams-Darling Highway seeing a number of issues east and westbound as you approach the Bahamas Games Boulevard roundabout, and still slow-moving westbound traffic as you get closer to Milo Butler Highway. Milo Butler Highway is backed up from Fire Highway if you're heading northbound. Gladstone Road looking like a better alternate route for you, but still busy for you. Slow-moving traffic northbound at this hour. Six-Legged Roundabout also seeing issues multiple directions northbound Milo Butler Highway, eastbound on John F. Kennedy Drive, southbound on New Providence Highway, and West Bay Street near the roundabout with New Providence Highway and Saunders Beach, slow-moving eastbound traffic there. If you're heading into downtown this morning, heavy traffic near Nassau Street on West Bay Street and downtown Bay Street as well. And Shirley Street, seeing a lot of traffic for you westbound this morning from Montague pretty much into downtown at this time. Prince Charles Drive, still heavy traffic near Beatrice Avenue and into Robinson Road on the way to Marathon and East-West Highway. That's what we're seeing right now. That's your real-time traffic. You'll still need your patience out there. Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Hey, bartender. Give me half a pint. Give me half a pint. Why don't you leave? Thank you. Thank you. Why don't you leave me alone?
me up and you look me down. You turn me loose and you hold me tight. You make me look like a beaded bar. Alcohol.
Hey, bartender.
Alcohol.
Give me another half a pint. Give me another half a pint.
Why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? Why don't you leave me alone?
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. We are changing gears. Just a few weeks back, the U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, surprising a few folks, raising some eyebrows, saying that alcohol is a leading cause of cancer, a risk that should be clearly labeled on drinks that, speaking for Americans consume. Murthy's advisory comes as research and evidence mounts that the bad effects that alcohol has on human health but the proposal of putting labels on alcohol, like they do with cigarettes, would require approval from U.S. Congress. He says that Americans should be better informed about the link between alcohol and cancer. Murthy noting that alcohol consumption is to blame for nearly 1 million preventable cancer cases in the U.S. over the last decade, and saying that about 20,000 people die every year from alcohol-related cancer cases, according to his advisory.
20,000?
Wow. So, joining us to talk about this, we've got lots of questions. We've got gastroenterologist Dr. Marcus Cooper. Good morning, Dr. Cooper. Always a pleasure. Happy New Year. I think we have you muted. Yeah, unmute yourself for us, Dr. Cooper. Yep, are you there?
Yep.
Oh, okay, there you go. Great to have you with us as always.
Am I loud and clear?
Now you are. Yes. Welcome, as always. Thank you for being with us this morning. All right, so, this was interesting to hear Dr. Murthy say this. Were you surprised by this? What did you initially make of his comments, saying that the alcohol should be labeled the way we do cigarettes? And is that reasonable, over the top? What's your initial reaction to that?
I think that that's very reasonable. And good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester. Good morning, Bahamas. I think that alcohol, and we know that alcohol in excess is extremely detrimental to your health. And for those people who are health conscious, I do believe that it's important that warning labels are put on alcohol so that you know, one, how much alcohol is in every drink that you're taking in. This is labeled on it is. The percentage of alcohol is on the label of wine and other spirits. It's on beer as well, but definitely more information should be available to consumers who want to know what is your real cancer risk, and not just cancer risk, but other risks associated with alcohol. So I do believe that putting some sort of labeling, some sort of information is reasonable so that people are made more aware.
Yeah. So this is not exaggeration. I mean, this is not a doctor just really waving flags to get people to change behavior, but this is serious and something that we need to be thinking about?
Well, I think it is a bit of a reach, and I'll tell you why. These type of studies, and this is research that came out of Canada, these type of studies are retrospective. What they do is they look at people who've been diagnosed with different cancers. And there are several alcohol-related cancers that we're aware of. Head and neck, which would be throat cancer, oral cancers like tongue cancer, esophageal cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, and stomach cancer, as well as liver. So we would take, say, 1,000 people who were diagnosed with any one of these cancers, and then we would go back and ask them about their alcohol intake over their lifetime prior to diagnosis. The problem with retrospective studies, though, is that it doesn't tease out other factors that could be contributing to your cancer risk. So, for instance, particularly in the United States and Canada, people who are heavy drinkers are probably often smokers as well. And we know that smoking by itself is a risk factor for developing multiple cancers. People who drink heavily probably also are sometimes overweight, particularly women who consume lots of wines. Wines are heavy in sugar. We do know that people that are obese are at risk of certain cancers, even in the absence of drinking. So there are confounding factors that can increase the risk in these retrospective studies that are not accounted for. So making a statement like this, that alcohol is extremely dangerous and is responsible for increasing cancer risk, may be true, but certainly not may not be as true in isolation. So it's really difficult to say. So I do think it's important, but I do think the statement is meant to sort of influence people about their health behaviors, get people thinking that, if you consume alcohol on a regular basis, you're going to, by itself, with no other confounding factors, that you're going to increase your cancer risk.
Right.
I think that's difficult to say.
Yeah, but you think labeling also this is not, like you've been saying, not new news to the medical world, but you think labeling just kind of makes sense for alcohol in general?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, there are people who are very sensitive to cancer risk. We have lots of people in the Bahamas who have very strong family histories of breast cancer, prostate cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. And for those people, if you tell them that, look, alcohol in excess can increase your cancer risk, people will be more sensitive to that and may change some of their social behaviors when it involves alcohol. So I think it's important. The average person who drinks 1 or 2 glasses of wine a week, or may have a spirit on the weekends or at a special occasion, I think that this information is probably not as important. We know that most things in moderation are probably not particularly detrimental, but for those people who have real significant cancer risks and other health risks, information and could help to steer them in a better health direction.
All right, so I was going to ask you that. We've been hearing that for years, moderation, maybe 1 drink a day for men, 2 for men, 1 for women, right? Is that what they've been saying?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yes. So how much of a risk does that put you at if you are an occasional drinker? You just said it, not so much, right?
Not so much. No, not so much. Unless, and there are other things that are probably more important than cancer risk for people who consume alcohol. Particularly, Bahamians historically like sweet wines, and sweet wines are full of sugar, and sugar tends to lead to obesity, and we have an obesity epidemic. And we have lots of people who are diabetic and hypertensive in our country. Sugar risk or sugar levels in particularly wines are what's really important for us. For heavy drinkers, people that are habitual users of alcohol, who abuse alcohol, those people tend to have unhealthy lifestyles anyway, and may participate in, they may smoke, they probably overweight, they're less concerned about their health, and they're at risk of multiple illnesses, including cancer.
I was going to ask, is it when you look at the makeup of an alcoholic beverage, are they saying what part of that drink and that the chemistry of that could be causing the cancers?
Cancer.
Like you mentioned, sugars. Have they said like what it is the, I don't want to say the active ingredient causing cancer?
Well, I'll tell you, I think the strongest link is for women and breast cancer. So, in reading some of the research and reading around it, because we know that alcohol, particularly wines, contain lots of sugars. Sugars can increase your weight. Having an increased rate leads to an increased level of estrogen in women. And we know that many breast cancers are estrogen sensitive. And estrogen is what's responsible for the growth and proliferation of breast cancers. I think that's the strongest risk. The other things that they mention are about metabolites of alcohol, acetaldehyde, which is once alcohol is broken down, it's sort of a carcinogen, and it can be a risk for cancer. They mention about alcohol change in excess and on a frequent basis, changing the lining of the esophagus and the stomach that allows toxins to be absorbed. And that's more of I think a theoretical risk as being able to actually prove that. But certainly in people who drink a lot, and particularly those who drink a lot and smoke, the risk of head and neck or throat cancers, esophageal and stomach cancers is definitely higher than in those who don't.
Well, all right. So there are already warnings about the dangers for pregnant women who consume alcohol. How likely do you think that this would happen? That there would be an agreement for? I mean, you say it's a good idea, but there would be agreement to do this about the cancer risk. Do you think that would be something the U.S. government would go for, and that the industry would sit back and tolerate, or would it not make much of a difference? What do you think?
I think that's where economics really is the major concern. There's going to be a lot of pushback from alcohol manufacturers and distributors to put any type of labeling that may discourage people from consuming alcohol. But certainly in other countries where the government seems to have more influence over economics, these are countries that are probably going to put some sort of labeling. I think it's a good idea. I mean, we do it for cigarettes, marijuana, cannabis, which is becoming legalized in many countries. They're doing lots of education about the dangers of consuming cannabis, and most studies will show that alcohol is way more physically harmful to your body than cannabis is. And so if we take the same approach, we should definitely be putting some warning labels on alcohol and making sure that we increase education to people who do consume alcohol about potential risks.
So if you have a family history of cancer, if you are a survivor maybe, what should you be, how should you take this information? What modifications do you need to make in your behavior?
Well, for the Bahamas specifically, where we are per capita, we have one of the highest, if not the highest rate of cancer-associated breast cancers, familial breast cancers. I think this is important information for women, but in the Bahamas. We know that wines in particular, or alcohol that is high in sugar, can lead to an increase in weight and obesity. And we know that obesity is related to high estrogen levels, which can increase your risk and your rates of developing breast cancer. That's important information for Bahamians. For other Bahamians who have strong family risk of cancer, be it stomach or liver or colon, you should be aware that drinking in excess, and that's more than that 1 or 2 drinks per day, could potentially increase your risk of developing cancer. We're not exactly sure about all of the links. We're not exactly sure about all of the potential ways that alcohol does this, but we do know that people who consume alcohol in excess would be considered heavy users or abusers. There is some increase in your risk of developing these, I think, 6 or 7 cancers: mouth, esophagus, throat, liver, colon, and breast. If you have a strong family history of either of those cancers in your family, then this is information that you should be aware of and maybe take heed to.
Yeah. This texter says here, in my almost 70 years, I've watched many of these heavy drinkers outlive many people, many healthy professionals. I'm sure there's
and drug users.
Always the drug users outliving people. Yeah.
Boy.
Always exceptions. What do you say to that? People who say, well, that chap's been there for decades drinking on the side of the road. What do you say?
I prefer not to say too much, but I will say this, Dwight. I mean, in the 15 years that I've been back home now, I do believe that Bahamians are somewhat of a different breed when it comes to alcohol. And I was just talking about this over the holidays. Pancreatitis is something that happens with excessive alcohol use. And when I was in the States at University of Miami, we used to see this all the time. I don't see it in the Bahamas that often. Just recently, we had a young man who died from alcohol-related pancreatitis, but I can't say that I've seen more than a handful of those in 15 years. Wow. And so it does appear that Bahamians seem to tolerate alcohol a lot better as far as its physical harmful effects than what I've been seeing abroad. So perhaps that is true, but I would still caution people, particularly those people who do have strong family histories of cancer, particularly breast cancer, and then also people who have obesity-related problems, high blood pressure, diabetes. I would encourage these people to really assess your alcohol intake. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be healthier, to reduce it appropriately.
Mm-hmm. And if you drink in moderation and exercise, can you reduce your risks for some of these other issues? Do you think that that can counter and some other things?
Well, yeah. I mean, people who adhere to healthy lifestyles, right? People who exercise regularly and they watch the things that they put in their mouth. It's very unlikely that these people are going to be heavy and excessive drinkers. I mean, most people will adopt a healthy lifestyle that will integrate in all aspects of their life. And so those are not the people who we should really be too concerned about. They're usually disciplined and they'll have one or two drinks on the weekends or at an event, but they're not going to get pissy drunk, as we say. So it's the other people who tend to drink a lot or drink daily. And I know that a lot of people, there are lots of women in particular, and men, who feel like, wine is not really bad alcohol. And the glasses and, with the evolution of Kyle Stubbs, particularly on Guardian Radio, our national sommelier, the glasses that we use to consume wine have gotten bigger and bigger. And so, you could get a whole bottle in 2 glasses.
My goodness.
And there are quite a few people and women in particular who consume tremendous amounts of wine over the course of a week. I mean, 3 or 4 bottles is a regular. Mm-hmm. I don't think that these people are really aware of the health risks that are associated with consuming that amount of wine on a regular basis. I mean, This is weeks and then years, months, years of consuming alcohol on a regular basis, even though it's wine, even though it's sweet wine, but there's serious risk associated with that. And fatty liver, which is a complication of consistent alcohol use, is a huge problem in the Bahamas. And fatty liver can be if you were drinking hard liquor every single day, So people need to be aware that there are risks involved and should modify their alcohol intake accordingly.
Wow. Well, you said it. You said somebody sent this text. I know this alcohol cancer conversation must be very depressing for you, Dwight, because you really seem to enjoy your occasional wine tasting guests. You can be heard smacking on those new brands from a mile away. Okay. Oh, boy. But anyway, Dr. Cooper, great information. Thank you so much, Dr. Marcus Cooper, for being here this morning and shedding some light on this. I think helping to put this in perspective and not take this out of context entirely. Always appreciate you. Hopefully we'll have you in the studio soon.
Sure, thank you.
Dr. Marcus Cooper, thanks again. All right, we're going to break for news, folks, and when we come back, we are going to be talking with the Canadian Independent Schools, and we'll get to that controversial concert. We've got a lot more in business coming up in just a bit. This is Morning Blend on a busy Wednesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Why don't you leave me alone? Lose my job and I lose my bill. My children gone and my house was sealed. Lose my pride and lose all respect. My whole life is a total wreck. Oh, alcohol. Why don't you leave? Why don't you leave?
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning, we're getting a preview of the Canadian boarding school tour that's going to be happening today. Here to tell us all about this, we're very pleased to welcome from the Canadian Accredited Independent Schools, CAIS, Allison Robertson in studio with us. Allison, welcome to the show. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here.
All right, so let people know what CAIS is, Canadian Accredited Independent Schools. What is it exactly?
So we are an association of Canada's best independent schools, and we're a national organization, but we have an international reputation for providing the best of Canadian elementary and secondary school education.
Okay.
So we have 29 case boarding schools from coast to coast in 7 different provinces. Big schools, small schools, co-ed, international baccalaureate, advanced placement. We've really got a school for everyone.
I'm going to these schools for quite a while now, right?
Yes, that's right. For many, many years. We currently actually have, I think we have 35 Bahamian students studying in case boarding schools right now.
Wow.
But yes, year after year.
You say it like that, case. That's how you
Case,
say it.
yeah.
Okay. Not CAIS.
Oh, that's okay.
You can say that too?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, but year over year, we have many students from the Bahamas come to study in Canada because maybe they've had family members come or they're attracted to Canada as a study destination.
So, I mean, let's kind of get into it. How do you make the case
Yeah.
for boarding school education when you come to a place like the Bahamas?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing to note is that we are just a short direct flight away, so we're easy to get to. I think that Canada is incredibly diverse and welcoming. We're very inclusive. We're safe. I think that's a key point. So families feel safe sending their students to us. We have incredible programs too. Lots of things to do. We've got tons of space similar to here. We've got oceans and lakes, but we have mountains and fields and tons of outdoor activities. So we've got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So tell us more about the schools. Are they very different? And where are they located in Canada?
Yeah. So in total, we have 29 case boarding schools, but coming today, we have 12. We've got 1 from Nova Scotia, 2 from British Columbia, and then 9 from Ontario. So we really do have schools that have flown from coast to coast to come down today to meet with Bahamian families. There are some all-boys schools, some all-girls schools, and some co-educational schools that are here. We've got schools from big cities like Toronto, for instance, but then we also have schools from small towns, from rural areas. So yes, I think it's all about finding the perfect fit. I'll be there at the entrance of the fair so I can help guide families to assist them what they're looking for, direct them who to speak with.
Yeah. So along the lines of Chester's earlier question, so how do you know that you are the student that would do well in a boarding school environment? What are some of the things that you see that are common characteristics of a student who can excel?
Yeah, I think that the key is a student that wants to come, so a student that wants to get involved. There's so much opportunity at these schools, so not just in the co-curricular programs like the sports and the music and the drama. There's community service options, and there's travel options, and there's rigorous academics. So I feel like the perfect student doesn't have to be somebody who excels, so much, of course, is what we're looking for too. But we want the person that wants to try, that wants to get involved, that wants to take advantage of this incredible opportunity.
When you talk about elementary education, how young are we talking?
Well, we actually have some schools here today that start as young as grade 5 and grade 6 for boarding school. So, junior boarding schools. And then all of them offer boarding all the way up to grade 12.
So when you talk about kids that young, do families often move with them? I mean, I know that probably doesn't make sense, but does that happen?
It might happen, but I feel like if that happened, then they would come as a day student.
Right.
So we do have, certainly the junior boarding schools would be smaller, but we do have, so the families don't come because the students would live on campus. But they would be smaller.
Mm-hmm. What types of costs are we looking at here? You can imagine, especially if you're going to be on the West Coast, it would get up there in cost. Is that right?
The schools do vary in fees. I would say, before mentioning the fees, I would say that we are, which is why it is also worth coming to explore our opportunities, because our schools have incredibly generous financial assistance programs, and they want the families and the students that want to take part and that want to be part of the CASE community, and so they will often assist those families to make boarding school possible if they are a good fit.
Yeah.
And last year we schools awarded more than $106 million in financial assistance. So there are very generous financial assistance programs.
Yeah. What can you tell us about accreditation and how that works in the Canadian system?
Yeah, so all of our schools are accredited by the provincial ministry and the provinces in which they're located, but then they're also further accredited by CASE. And so their boarding programs, their governance programs, their campuses, their faculty, it's a very intensive accreditation program that happens every few years. So that's why the CASE schools are sort of a step above, and parents can expect the best.
Mm-hmm. Are some of the schools kind of feeders for universities and colleges?
Our students enjoy, I would say, just over a 99% acceptance rate into their top universities of choice. And that's not just for Canadian universities, but the students go on to the US, to the UK. They come back to the country where they're from. So yes, for sure. Many parents send their students to CASE schools so that they can prepare them for post-secondary.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so you have the tour tonight.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Where is it going to be? This is 4 p.m.
Yes, exactly. So we're at the Sandyport Beach Resort on West Bay in Nassau. And yes, we welcome anyone and everyone. So it's from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, the Sandyport Beach Resort, we're in the Starfish Lounge, which is right off of the lobby. There's parking available. We have 12 CASE boarding schools that are there. And an exciting feature that is new this year is that all registered attendees will be entered into a draw to win an iPad. So everyone that comes, we encourage you to register ahead of time, but you don't need to. So everyone that comes will be entered into a draw.
You accommodate.
As we can accommodate many. It's a large space.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to go around each school that's there, or
exactly.
What's the format going to be like?
Yeah, so when you come, you just have a quick 2-second registration process, and then all of the schools will be set up at their own table. We also have the consulate from Toronto, who has Shelley has flown down here, which is wonderful. So she can provide information on how they support Bahamian students when they're up in Canada. But yes, each school will be at a table, and students and families can, move around at their leisure, browse the brochures, speak to the representatives. I think it's important to note too, this isn't an interview. This is just come and browse and information gather. It doesn't matter what stage of your exploration process you're at. Maybe you're even considering schools, but in another country. Come and give us a chance, about why Canada. And even if you're not even thinking about boarding school yet, but you're a little bit intrigued to learn about what we offer, we'd love to have you join us.
And what would be the earliest that somebody would be able to get into a school if they come out today? This is for the fall, or this is Okay.
Yes, starting in September, but people come looking many years into the future too. So whatever the preference.
All right.
Yeah, so
Any-
4 to 8 p.m.
Wonderful. Any other information you think people need to know about Case and about tonight?
No, just we would really love to have you. We look forward to this event every year. We met with families last year. We'd really love to have people come out. We'll have coffee and snacks and a draw for an iPad.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Again, Sandy Port
Beach Resort.
at 4 p.m.
Exactly.
4 to 8.
4 to 8 p.m. Yeah.
All right. Allison Robertson, thank you so much for being here, representing CASE, a Canadian accredited independent schools, and it's going to be a great night tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll be back with more Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
12 of Canada's most prestigious boarding schools will be in Nassau on Wednesday, January 8th for the Canadian Boarding School Fair. Come meet with schools from across Canada. Generations of Bahamians have attended boarding school in Canada to prepare them for the demands and expectations of university. Canada is safe, culturally diverse, and extremely welcoming. Join us at the Sandy Port Beach Resort from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, boy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do? What does do?
Check the website, boy. Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to .com.
The Water and Sewage Corporation is rolling out new digital meters designed to give you more accurate readings. With advanced technology, you'll be able to monitor your water usage in real time, get more accurate bills and early leak detection to avoid costly surprises. Better service starts now. Watch for our installation team in your neighborhood and get ready to experience the convenience of digital meters. Follow us on our social media platforms for more information. Digital meters from the Water and Sewage Corporation. Innovative, convenient, and designed for you.
12 of Canada's most prestigious boarding schools will be in Nassau on Wednesday, January 8th for the Canadian Boarding School Fair. Come meet with schools from across Canada. Generations of Bahamians have attended boarding school in Canada to prepare them for the demands and expectations of university. Canada is safe, culturally diverse, and extremely welcoming. Join us at the Sandy Port Beach Resort from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Double the holidays with Scotiabank, and you could win your share of $28,000 this Christmas. Just spend $300 or more on your Scotiabank credit card, and you could be the lucky first prize winner of $13,000, or the second prize winner of $8,000, prize winner of $5,000. Win big and claim your share of $28,000 when you shop with Scotiabank this Christmas. Promotion ends January 27th, 25. Draw date February 17th, 2025. Visit bs.scotiabank for more information. Conditions apply.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit cfal.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, and its just released and latest Caribbean Quarterly Bulletin says a lack of skilled labor could be hindering economic growth in the Bahamas. It says that although migration flows are positive, the lack of skilled labor could be hindering growth, even though firms consider the qualification of employees a pervasive constraint. The IDB says Bahamian workers are on par with the regional average for skilled workers as a proportion of the total workforce, with around a half of workers from all types of innovative firms being considered skilled. But it says that expanding into what Bahamian firms believe to be the causes affecting workers' skills, most frequently mentioned is poor quality education and training by local institutions, which particularly affects potentially innovative firms. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association President Jackson, most resorts met or were just shy of budget forecasts for 2024 and remain optimistic for 2025. Weech, who is also the vice president and general manager of Atlantis Royal Towers, writing to Guardian Business via email when asked about the performance of his members for 2024 and the outlook for 2025. While the official tourism arrival numbers are not yet confirmed, Tourism Director General Latia Duncombe has confirmed that total visitor arrivals were 9.1 million up to October 2024. She also says that in 2023, the country welcomed nearly 10 million visitors, a 30% increase over 2019. Challenger Energy Group, formerly Bahamas Petroleum Company, explaining in its 2024 year-end letter to shareholders that it will make a decision on its licensed interest in the Bahamas within the first 6 months of this year. The letter to shareholders was penned by the company's CEO, Itan Ulil, who explained that thanks to the completion of a farm out of one of its license areas in Uruguay to Chevron, the company is fully funded and debt-free. And President of the United Public Transportation Company, Harrison Moxey, telling Guardian Business that the digital bus pass for jitney drivers is still under development despite its original developer stepping aside and a new firm being sought. Moxey telling Guardian Business that the now 4-year-old digital bus pass project, which was scheduled to be launched in 2023, is still very much anticipated by members. The original digital bus pass developer told Guardian Business that his firm is no longer working on developing the digital bus pass, but he's aware that it's still an ongoing process. Overseas, U.S. applications for unemployment benefits fell to their lowest level in nearly a year last week, pointing to a still healthy labor market with historically low layoffs. They said that applications for jobless benefits fell to 201,000 for the week ending January 4th, down from the previous week's 211,000. The week's figure is the lowest since February of last year. The 4-week average of claims, which evens out the week-to-week ups and downs, fell by 10,250 to 213,000. And a top policymaker of the U.S. Federal Reserve saying today that he will support cutting interest year despite elevated inflation and the prospect of widespread tariffs under incoming President Donald Trump and the Trump administration. An influential member of the Fed's Board of Directors or Board of Governors, Christopher Waller, is saying he expects inflation will move closer to the Fed's 2% target in the coming months. And in some of the first comments by a Fed official specifically talking about tariffs, he said that greater import duties likely won't push up inflation this year. His remarks are noteworthy because the impact of tariffs is a key wild card for the economy this year. Waller also suggested he's more optimistic about inflation than many Wall Street investors, who increasingly expect the Fed to keep its rate steady this year as elevated prices continue to linger. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers, Commonwealth Brewery moving 100 shares, closing at 10.89, unchanged, closing at $5.06, down 13 cents. Emira Incorporated up 2 cents, closing at 9.11. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,008.35, down 0.11. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Pretty little pretty where you own. But them nigga your body wicked in a bed. She can't say you can't bubble by your head. But them nigga your body wicked in a bed. She can't say you can't bubble by your head. Come home.
We are back with the Morning Event Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, all with Chester Robards. We've been teasing this for a couple of days now. We're supposed to get caught up talking about insurance and insuring your vehicles, but we're going to get to it today. So there's some rising concerns about a planned concert with controversial artist Vybz Kartel.
And that's our show for today. See you tomorrow.
Oh, boy. Vybz Kartel, whose real name is Adija Azim Palmer, and nicknamed World Boss. He calls himself World Boss and Teacher. Has had quite an interesting life. He had been sentenced to life imprisonment for murder, the murder of his associate Clive Lizard Williams. But his conviction was quashed in March of last year by the UK Privy Council, who cited juror misconduct and declared that the Jamaican Court of Appeal had to decide if a retrial would take place. In July of last year, he was released from prison after the Jamaican Court of Appeal declined to retry the case. So, in light of that, fans all over the world, including the Bahamas, have basically lost their mind with the prospect that their beloved superstar would be back creating new music and performing. And
he stopped creating music?
Did he? I don't know. Did he? Oh, boy. Was he not? I don't know. But immediately people were saying they can't wait for him to come, and now there's it appears that a concert is being planned. So I'm going to read some articles from the Tribune business section talking about this. And so this controversy on a number of levels here. So this one here, we want to hear from you on this. But this one here, the United Artists Bahamas Union plans to push back by any means necessary under the law against the approval of the Vybz Kartel concert set to happen at Fort Charlotte. Oh, this is really in the selling tickets yet? Okay. Citing the Jamaican dancehall artist's criminal background, despite his 2011 murder conviction being overturned. Claiming that policies dictate that the union should be consulted before any foreign artist can perform in the Bahamas, Secretary General Link Scavella Ferguson told Tribune Business that the union does not support the Vybz Kartel concert. He added that there is a rise in foreign artists who bypass the UABU and other relevant government authorities and enter the country to perform. He claimed the UABU is the only legal union at this time that may approve foreign artists who enter the country. Does Atlantis know this? Just asking for a friend. However, to his understanding, its legacy union, the Bahamas Musicians and Entertainers Union, are behind that. That's his words. Scavella Ferguson said the UABU earned its rights to approve or disapprove of foreign artists' entry into the country due to the previous union, the BMEU, officers not lacking certification. He said during his quarterly meeting with Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll about 2 weeks ago, she advised that the BMEU was not certified, which means that the union should not be approving any foreign artists. Okay, so there's another article that was in yesterday, speaking with that other union. So a trade union Congress chairman backed the UABU and their vocal opposition to dancehall artist Vibes Cartel staging a concert. Well, it's not really the BMU. But anyway, Fred Munnings, friend of the show, pointing to the murder situation, that's his words, quote, the murder situation in the Bahamas, telling Tribune Business that he does not believe a role model like the Jamaican should be allowed into the country, even though the latter's murder conviction was overturned by the Privy Council after he spent 10 years serving a prison sentence. Jamaica's appeal court has declined to retry the case. Responding to the pushback that the United Artists Bahamas Union is receiving over its threat to protest the concert's approval, Munnings added that just because the public may want it does not mean such an event is in the best interest of the development of our country. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get your reaction to all this, folks.
Fear.
We got a lot of messages yesterday because we were supposed to talk about it. I want to read those messages before we get to hear from you all today. I did save them because I said, it was not fair. I told them we just ran out of time for it, and I said I'd save them so that people have their say. But you can today as well. Call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. So some of the messages from yesterday. This person says, I don't think we should grant Vibes Cartel a permit to perform here. He is a negative influence. Let Jamaica keep their problems over there. Go to JA if you want to hear Cartel. Okay.
Or wherever else he's going to be.
Wherever he's going to be. This reminds me of another criminal entertainer who was invited to mix and mingle with high-ranking MPs. Did that happen? What? Wait. Do you remember that? I don't recall that. Oh, gosh. They put a serious name there. Okay. This texter says, maybe you can check out Politics Watch on YouTube or from Jamaica, which explains what this Jamaican artist is all about. He's not good for us right now. He's very negative. He caters to the criminal, charges them, I think, to use high-powered weapons and kill, calling himself world boss. And he's 48 years old. He was convicted for killing his friend for a pair of shoes. He was convicted for killing. A lot of information. They still haven't found that body yet. Tell the promoters of the Bahamas not to be stupid. Wow.
Wasn't quite a pair of shoes, was it?
I don't know anything about it. But
anyway.
But okay. Hey, let's hear from you. Chester, what's your view on it before we get to the new messages coming in? Yeah.
I don't listen to Vibes Cartel.
Mm-hmm. So
I was listening to Vivaldi last night. That's my range of music there.
Well, excuse me. Aren't you special?
Probably, because everybody listens to Vibes. Even though you gotta love the song Clarks, okay? Fine. That's probably the extent of my vibes.
I don't know it.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I actually don't.
Clarks me prefer.
Is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think it was about shoes. But anyway,
be about shoes. But I think that's the point everybody's making, right? Whatever.
But we've talked about this before. That
yes.
We send strong messages to our people,
yes.
Especially young people, children,
yes.
About what we sanction here.
Right.
We know we have a big problem. We are sending mixed messages with the movies and the TV shows and the music that are played in front of little babies. And we complain about certain things, but not about the other things that can probably really influence their behavior and what they deem as criminality and things they shouldn't get involved in. And
because they have enough of it here.
You know, you have to look at it as a
The
chicken
example
or egg,
exists.
chicken or egg situation, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're behaving like this because you were raised on an appetite of a diet, a steady diet of nothing but watching people kill people, whether it's a TV show or whatever, and people laughing at it and thinking, yeah, that's right, get him. You think that's fine. You think that's the way to handle a dispute.
Yeah,
It's dangerous.
It is.
And if you don't have a parent around who's telling you this is just for entertainment purposes,
It's not.
this is not the way that you right.
That's not how music.
Okay. This is not the way people behave, sensible people behave. If you don't have that around you, you're going to end up with what we see every day in New Providence.
I'm reminded of the amount of people who got Thug Life tattooed across their stomach. It makes people unoriginal too. So they do mimic what they see in pop culture based on its popularity.
Of course.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I say that to say that I understand why people would protest.
Yeah.
Vibes Cartel coming here.
Yeah, and again, if you look at the case, so the Privy Council had issues with how it was handled.
Right.
No one's saying anything about innocence,
Right.
or guilt.
Yeah.
So that's important to note.
Yeah. It was a technicality.
Yes.
That got the case thrown out.
And he's immensely popular in Jamaica, and perhaps that influenced whether they decided to retry the case.
What gets me is that even after the conviction, cared that he was guilty of something so heinous at that point.
Yeah.
They still,
including here in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Because
it was still about, everybody was like, free him.
On social media,
we
it was
love
all
him.
People, what's your favorite songs? Oh, I love him so much. Oh, this is great. I want to have a party now. And I was like, okay, this is exactly not surprising. But again, I just maybe people are, I don't know.
And I'm not convinced that many of these people who still love him and still want to go to a concert believe he's innocent. As a matter of fact, I think they understand what his whole situation was.
I think plenty
because
of
people have a lot of information about it.
I think plenty of people would go to a concert of their favorite artist at a prison. They'd I'll drive down there and go to the prison to watch him perform.
Yeah.
Because that's how humans are now.
It is.
Let's hear from you, though. Again, I know very little about the man and this case.
He prefers Clarks.
What say you? Are people being hypocritical? And the two types of
And something about
here,
cake soap.
right?
Something about cake soap.
He's very much not looking like how he used to look. But that's another issue. Let's take this call. Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Hi, good morning. You're a fan of Vibes Cartel, Sparky?
Hello?
Are you a fan of Vibes Cartel?
Vibes Cartel?
Okay. So you're not calling about what we're talking about?
Not really.
No.
Dwight, honestly, I spend a lot of time dealing with social media and a lot of international news.
Okay, this is pretty much international. We don't have too much time, so I got to let you go because we got to keep it to this topic in our final few minutes here. Vibes Cartel. So let's get to the text messages. We want to hear from you folks if you have a view on this. What should happen? Will it make a difference? Will it not? Don't do it. Don't even try it. The promoters of the Bahamas need to think twice on this one. Is it really about the money? Why is Cartel a husband? What is something missing? What does that mean? What? He's washed up. We don't need him here. Who are the promoters? I don't think that's what they meant to say.
Yeah, no, that's a typo.
Well, some people around here would marry anything. That's not what you meant to say, though. Dwight, I know there's alcohol. Oh, you already said that. Okay, yeah. They're hypocritical for making that stance. The internet makes the world very small. Concert or not, Bahamians can be influenced by him from YouTube. What's the difference? It's a big difference. It's a big difference.
It's about making the stand.
Yeah. So, you're not being censored. This isn't some other countries where what you do on the internet is controlled, right? So you could do that in the privacy of your home. But to say that we are fine with a certain type of thing happening in public here is a different story, right? You have to say, you could watch that in the privacy of your home. If you want to raise your children to listen to dance hall 24/7, yeah, you could do it, but we certainly won't be playing dance hall at our school. Right, so you have to stand for something.
Yeah. Can't be cute in my car. I hope some people got that.
Oh, boy. Tell Chester, say it again. That was funny as heck. Which part was this? Which part was
What?
this?
I don't know.
The cake's open. A few years ago, I believed Mr. Vegas would not perform in the Bahamas ever again. It happened. Now I don't think Vibes performing in the Bahamas is outside the realm of possibility. Oh, no. Nothing is outside the realm of possibility here. Good Lord. I think P. Diddy's first concert might be here if he's ever released. It could happen.
I'll never forget Rick Ross. I think it was his first concert, and I was covering it for the newspaper I was at the time.
He had a concert here?
Yeah. They may have gotten through a song and a half before a fight broke out, and that was the end of the concert.
People paid for that?
Yeah.
Did they get their money back?
No. For what?
Was the fight intentional?
It was a fight between Rick Ross's people, from what I remember,
I thought you
and
meant
the
the
sound
audience.
and the sound people. But then it spilled onto the stage somehow.
Nice.
And that was the end of the concert.
Great. So if R. Kelly or P. Diddy gets released from prison, would we let him perform in the Bahamas? I'm pretty sure someone would try it.
Really? Well, I don't know how much
People wanted
Vibes charging for a concert these days. Probably a lot, but well, I hear Chris Brown coming, so someone paid for him.
Somebody else said that to me.
So somebody must have paid for him.
Is Chris Brown on the level of Vibes Cartel? I don't know if it's
Above.
Right, it's not the same.
I'm just
He might
saying.
he might not be.
They mentioned P. Diddy or who? R. Kelly. I mean, R. Kelly performed here before, didn't he?
So yeah, isn't Chris Brown scheduled to perform here? He's not a murderer that we know of, but he is a convicted abuser. Convicted.
I don't know about
convicted.
convicted.
But maybe we are okay with that.
Is it convicted?
I don't know. Convicted. Let's take that call and call in. We want to hear from you. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Getting some very interesting text messages. We're going to get to those in just a bit. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
First time calling for the week, Dwight. I hear KB and friends having a big concert by the farm coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the ads.
With Rick Ross, and he's supposed to be jamming over here Friday or something.
Is he?
Somewhere in the Bahamas.
Well,
Bimini.
Can't keep up.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
Bimini.
think it's Bimini. I think the people.
I think I saw a flyer.
Huh?
I think I saw a flyer.
You all sound like you're doing commercials. What's
No, sorry. I think on to like be not crazy, but invest and pay them ticket price and stuff for like our Bahamian artists like KB, friends and people like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, the garbage truck, they do better this year. I know what the minister and the government do to them if they pay them or
They was on the ball late.
Yeah, I know, but your area, but the garbage truck was passing around a lot, and they move the garbage normally, like in the holiday season, like leading to January, plenty garbage is be around. How it is around by you?
Yeah, they pass around twice in one day, you know.
Yeah, like 3 times a week. They doing good. Keep up the good work, man.
Nice. Okay. Excellent. Well, you remember a few years back, the previous administration made people in like where I live have to pay for our garbage, and so I don't have issues, but I have to pay because my cost of living is going up every single month thanks to the governments of the Bahamas. But I love the company we are with, so I don't have any complaints. But I have to pay. But anyway, that's another story. I soon have to pay to breathe around here, but that's another show. Anyway, you know that Vibes Cartel will come and perform. This is just noise that people are saying because they got nothing better to do. Remember, Buju Banton came here twice after he was released from prison.
Really? Twice?
I don't. Was he released from prison, or he just was banned from? Was he in prison?
He was released.
Was Buju, he was in prison.
He got out.
What was he in prison for?
Drugs.
Drugs. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Kodak Black came and performed. Really? I'm very out of it.
Yeah, me too. I don't remember that. Or maybe I didn't know. I don't pay attention.
He has something to perform. He just looks like a crazy person. Now, if you say voice is no longer any good, was it good before? And he can't sing well, well, that's a different story, and that would be a waste of money. And that's a good discussion to have. Okay, I hear you. The people who will be attending the Vibes concert are mostly in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Those are the people who attended the Buju concert. Yeah, well, wow. We allowed Jonquel Jones and her sweetie in this country, and now we're allowing this person in. Oh my God. Okay. See what's happening here. This is the problem. This is the problem. A lot of people would vote for their favorite MP, even though he was found innocent. Even though most of us know he was guilty. I don't know where that's coming from. What's that about? Is that related to this? I get what they're trying to say, but my Lord. Okay, so listen to this. So the LGBTQT people can march in my kid's face. Carnival people can march half naked in my kid's face. But a concert where kids aren't allowed shouldn't happen. Be fair, Dwight. Be fair. Okay. Well, do you think that seeing those, whatever you talked about, would make your children become LGBTQ and make them want to dance around half naked in the streets? Do you think that?
It might make them want to dance around half naked.
Maybe? Okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, the life of three Bahamian men. Save the life of three Bahamian men. Stop cartel.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a big service announcement. I don't know what's happening. This is going off the rails really quickly. Let's take this call really quickly. Call, you got about 30 seconds.
Oh, Dwight.
Hi, let's see how quickly you can do it.
Yeah, I think the problem is the Bahamian artists want to play in the concert. Why don't the Bahamian artists don't go to Jamaica and run their own concert, go to the States? Because they will open the concert. This is all about.
You think that's what the protests are about? Because
that's what it's all about. They will open the show.
Really? You don't think it has anything to do with his
They complain
legal...
I listened to them on another talk show. They said they need to be open up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So they could go to Jamaica, do their concert, go to Miami, Just like KB doing a concert to the farm this weekend or whatever. They could do it to make their own place.
Okay, I hear you. I don't know. I mean, maybe for some of them that might be the issue. For others, I think their people are complaining about the reputation. But maybe if a Bahamian needs to become a gangster artist, since that would bring them immense popularity in the country, perhaps, because that's what y'all like.
Prove it.
No way. That is not how you spell it. That is not how you spell it. Woo! Don't let Vibes Cartel come to the Bahamas, but play this one positive song by Vibes. One squat of land, me not vote again. Lucy, can you find that? Right? Is it squat?
You mean we can't play?
Yes, we almost gave R. Kelly the keys to the city. Some MPs are almost as silly as the young kids, all hyped up to be seen with the international entertainers. It's sad. Okay. I never got into Squid Game, but where is this coming from? I don't like the human pawn game show genre. When the second season came out, is this for us? When the second season came out, I said, let me see what this is about. I barely got through one episode and I stopped. I've realized for quite some time now that different types of movies and books leave me feeling bad. Headaches and unsettling sensations. Gratuitous violence I cannot watch. I don't want that stuff in my head. So can Cartel have some... Cartel, right? Have some negative effect with his murderous examples and lyrics stuck in your head? Sure. No to P. Diddy. That's some serious messy stuff with that was cut on the video. Okay, I appreciate your text. Very interesting there. His music promotes violence, so no. Wow. So, Mr. Producer, I hope we can find some non-violent vibes music to send us out. I mean, we shouldn't even do this, hey.
Well, you say the clock song ain't even about shoes?
I don't know. I never listened to that. Why would I listen to that? Anyway. If you can you find that song? Chester's favorite.
The leather suede, and pulls off or something like that.
That wasn't about his bleachy skin. Chester Robards, thank you for being here. I'll see you next week. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, our final show for the week before the majority rule holiday. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green. Next, Mr. Bruce, what you got for us? Let's hear this. Oh boy.